Girls, I literally found the best app to meet a millionaire. And it's not even a dating app. It's actually a mobile game. A year ago, I was just playing this game online, and this super sweet guy joined my lobby. We started playing together every single night. He was so incredibly nice, constantly gifting me rare skins and in-game stuff, but I honestly thought he was just some broke college kid. Well, fast forward a few months.
Years back up.
Got it.
Well, I can go to the grave.
But I like it for
You as well.
Unlike the other composers representing this program, Clara Schumann's
Live for lips.
In this game, NPCs age with time, and the weather syncs with your own city. Yes, you heard it right. It's all happening here. The latest update brings real-time weather into the game. Whether it's sunny or rainy, you'll see it reflected in the scenes and on the NPCs. Every character lives a free, vibrant life in Leisure Valley. Rising at dawn, resting at dusk. Come and immerse yourself in this uniquely relaxing life simulation. Your serene world awaits.
いいって死にません。私の絵に魔力がある。多くの人が私の作品を切り出す。学生者、悪意が見える。
It is a fitting close to a morning that also gave us Mozart's very first concerto, written at 11, out of other composers' movements. The boy who learned by arranging others returns here at 16 as master in his own right. Soprano Yulia Veshneva performing with Il Giardino Armonico under Giovanni Antonelli. Mozart's motet Exultate Jubilant. That's all for today on DZFE's Classical Drive, a showcase of music with its heart in the 17th and 18th centuries, works in Baroque and classical style. Join me again tomorrow between 7 and 10 in the morning. Support DZFE with prayer, praise, and pledge giving. For more about DZFE, visit dzfe.fubc.ph. Once again, this is David with Tiffany the writer of this program. Thank you for listening. Good day.
Let's face it, life can be a bit dry, a bit on the harsh side. Maybe you have an inkling just nothing left to give. It doesn't have to be a full-blown burnout, you know, even though that happens sometimes. There are so many people out there living, let me call it a suboptimal life, a life that is not everything it could be or should be. People who are tired and listless, people with a sense that life is drifting or just slipping by, people who are stressed and carrying around these heavy burdens, worrying about this and that. Fear is a big problem, you know, amongst men and women, and it all starts to affect your health and your sense of well-being, and you don't sleep well, and it seems that all we can do when we open our mouths is to whinge and complain about this or that. And you'd be amazed how many people on paper have everything you could hope for. You know, a good family, a loving husband and wife, great kids, a career, a job, financial security, yet they're living lives of stress and worry and fear. I call it suboptimal living, or you can just call it unfulfilled, or you can call it stress and tired and irritable, call it whatever you like. But it's a life where it doesn't seem to be what it's meant to be. Now, I'm not talking about different seasons we go through in life. We go through seasons, we'll go through ups and downs and summers and winters and bright sunny days and cold, howling, brutal days. I'm not so much talking about that up and down. I'm talking about this ongoing suboptimal inner life. Whether or not the circumstances on the outside of the world allows you, I'm talking about having a life inside that's worth living. I was challenged the other day by a good friend of mine, Max. Let me tell you, Max works with me here in the studio. He's a silent partner in all these radio programs. He produces hundreds of programs each year with me. Max would have to be one of the most preached out guys on the planet Earth. I mean, he's involved in other ministries, one called LL Ministries, a healing ministry that does great stuff. And Max gets preached at day after day after day after day after day. Bless him. Over a cup of tea and toast with honey the other day, he says to me, Bertie, you know you talk as though having peace and joy in your life 24/7 is a normal thing in life. Everybody should have that. Well, maybe God's done some amazing things in you and fast-tracked stuff so you can be some high-flying creature, but maybe it's not like that for the rest of us. It really challenged me. It really got me thinking. You see, I see myself as just an average Joe Blow who gets on my microphone and shares juicy with people. Am I talking about something that's positive? Or is it a poetry? Am I talking about love? See, I spent the first 36 years of my life without kindness. I did it all on my own, or so I thought. I was confident, I was searching, ruthless as a businessman. I met Jesus along the way when I was about 36 years old, and I decided to take to heart
So do we.
religion.
And not simply defending ourselves for the sake of defending ourselves, but for defending the truth. John Gerstner, when somebody was standing there viciously attacking him and calling him all kinds of nasty names, charging him with all kinds of ridiculous. Gerstner stood there and listened to it patiently. And Gerstner wasn't visibly angry or anything like that. Flailed. Very calmly he said, "Do you realize that you are slandering me?" Gerstner pointed out that what he was saying was true, and that he was then slandering another thing. And I thought that that was a perfectly appropriate response to the false charges that were being brought against him. And so now we come to Joseph at this point, who pleads his case. And he says, when you go and you tell Pharaoh about me, that I'm here, please tell him I'm innocent. If you've ever been involved in prison ministry, as I have, it's almost a standard joke that there are no guilty people in prison. That anytime you have an opportunity to talk to a prison inmate, they will complain that they were railroaded into jail, that they were really innocent, and so on. And I used to teach prison inmates on the gospel and on biblical justice. And the thing that was refreshing to me in dealing with many Christian inmates was the in which they said, I am guilty. I did what I was put in prison for. And we remember the difference between the two thieves that were crucified next to Jesus. One of them said, hey, what has this man done? Referring to Jesus. We're guilty. We're being crucified because we're guilty. He's innocent. And that was a breath of fresh air. It was that man that Jesus promised that he would be with him in paradise. Now, so when you get in there, tell the Pharaoh that he has an innocent man over here in the prison. Well, let's pick up the narrative again and see what happens. Verse 16 of chapter 40. And when the chief governor saw that the interpretation was good, he said to Joseph, I also received my dream, and there were 3 white baskets on my head. And the uppermost basket were all kinds of baked goods for Pharaoh, and the birds ate them out of the basket on my head. And so Joseph answered and said, this is the interpretation. 3 baskets or 3 days. So far, the baker has to be thrilled. Wow, this is the same thing. That the 3 branches were 3 days, and now the 3 baskets are 3 days. Boy, I can't wait to hear the rest of this interpretation. Within 3 days, Pharaoh will lift your head from off of you and hang you on a tree, and the birds will eat your flesh from you. One of the things that differentiated the true prophet from the false prophet was the false prophet always gave the dream the people wanted to hear. The true prophet gave the true interpretation, even if the interpretation was bad. And here, Joseph tells the baker, Pharaoh's going to lift your head from off your body. He's going to hang you on a tree. Good news for the butler, bad news for the baker. Verse 3, and it came to pass on the 3rd day, Pharaoh's birthday, his servants. And he lifted up the head of the chief butler among his servants. And then he restored the chief butler to his butlership again, and he placed the cup in Pharaoh's hand. But he handed it to the chief baker, as Joseph had interpreted. Yet the chief butler, Joseph, but forgot him. Thief on the cross. Remember me, Lord, when you come into your kingdom. And Jesus remembered him. The butler, who was elated by this good fortune, by the grace of Pharaoh, and message from Joseph, who promised that he would remember him whenever he was in of power and authority and had the ear of Pharaoh, forgot. I wonder what it means that he forgot. How he could forget it. He had to be absolutely elated 3 days later on the day of the birthday of Pharaoh when he was restored to this position, dragged out of the dungeon, made again the chief butler over the whole nation and the cupbearer to the king himself, and was right there at the Pharaoh's right hand on the night of his celebration. He couldn't have forgotten it that quickly.
You're so small? Why do dishes now?
Mom works so hard at her job. Let her play with...
Yeah.